Dr. Thulani Ngwenya is the Chief Medical Officer at the South African Football Association. He joined the Football Association 10 years ago, and he has been working in different platforms, hoisting the country's flag sky high throughout the continent. And now he's going to be doing the same in Qatar at the FIFA World Cup. We welcome him. Dr. Ngwenya, let's take it back home.
Well, I'm from Ganyamaza, Niligazi. That's where I grew up. Grew up playing football, and I was a captain. And I played football as an extramural activity, but I loved the game so much, and there was leadership qualities that were there. Hence, I became the captain. But when I was doing grade 10, standard 8 back in the days, I was scouted by Pirates to play for Pirates Development, and I had to choose as to whether I want to continue playing the game and go and play in the Pirates Development or continue with school. I had to make a very difficult decision. I chose not to go there and concentrate on my schoolwork because I was also one of the top learners at high school, and I wanted to do medicine at the same time. Fast forward, I then did medicine. When I was at medical school, I was still playing football, and I also became a leader, SRC president, who would have known through football because I was popular at school for football.
Take us through the process, how you were identified at Tembisa while you were doing your internship to be part of SAFA.
My brother, who was working with Dr. Desmond Lamula then, who was the under-17 girls doctor at that time, was not available. Desmond is also from Mpumalanga. And then Desmond wanted a replacement. And my brother said, no, I know of a young man who's my brother, who is on leave. Can't you actually give him an opportunity? And that's how I got the opportunity. And from there, the coach, at that time it was Coach Cheryl Bottas, loved me and loved how I work. And then she was promoted to under 20, went with me. And when we were in the under 20, we camped at the same time with Banyana. And there was Coach Shakes Mashaba, who was a technical advisor for Banyana. I met him, interacted. And at some point, there was a vacancy at under 17 where Coach Shakes Mashaba was coaching. And then they called me to say, hey, there's a vacancy, come and help us. And then I started working there, and we graduated to under 20 boys, Amajita. And when we qualified during the West Africa tour, Coach Shakes Mashaba was appointed to be Bafana Bafana coach, and he took the entire medical and technical staff. That's where your Coach Thabo Sinong, your Coach Owen Dagama, and all of us in the medical and support staff became part of Bafana.
You've been growing in leaps and bounds since then. We saw you in different tournaments, being the leading medical officer.
SAFA trusted me when I was young, and I grew in the ranks of SAFA, and I became the chief medical officer, meaning that I was overseeing everything that is medical in all the 52 regions, and I was overseeing everything in all the medical teams, appointing even the medical team, which was a huge role.
How were you able to navigate through the COVID-19 period, such a difficult period, not only for South Africa, but for the world?
An extremely difficult period, and SAFA then said, we are going to take the back seat. You are the doctor. You are going to tell us how we're going to go through. It was a very, very difficult moment because if you remember very well, it was a time when people were dying in high numbers. It was a time when contracts were finishing. I mean, it was towards the end of the season. It was a time also when you had issues of sponsors, especially the professional league, needed to actually fulfill their contractual obligation with sponsors, and we needed to balance that as the medical personnel. But in whatever that we did, we needed to make sure that the safety and the well-being of the people is a priority more than the livelihood, because we had to balance the two. Hence we came together with the concept of the biological safe environment, which is a concept that was received warmly by the government of South Africa. We received by CAF, received by FIFA, and they actually applauded us because of such a concept. And we played in a bio bubble, which it was a new concept. No one knew about it, and everyone and all eyes were actually on it.
We saw you being appointed in tournaments now, going outside the country, COSAFA. CAF. Let's start COSAFA, regional.
So after the COVID, the BSc, Biological Safe Environment, COSAFA needed to play. And they also had a contractual arrangement with Port Elizabeth Gqeberha, and they needed to play their games there because of the contract that they have. And Gqeberha was an epicenter of the country at that time. So they then called upon young Dr. Ngwenya to say, we saw you had a PSC concept in South Africa and the games played well, come help us. Yes, we had some COVID cases, but we never had severe cases, and the games played successfully.
Talking about COSAFA, you've just came back from the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Yes. I went to the Kingdom of Eswatini where we had the under-20 tournament, COSAFA tournament. It was the first of its kind outside the borders of South Africa post-COVID. So I needed to also be there and guide the medical aspect and the processes thereof. And I was so privileged to meet the king, you know, and also interact about this important aspect of football, which is sports medicine. And we were received so warmly. And then from there, I went to the schools tournament now in Malawi, under 15.
At CAF, I will go just to one incident during the AFCON tournament earlier this year. Sergio Mane. Tell us more about that incident.
Well, it's one of the highlights of my career. I was in Bafosa overseeing that stadium as a doping control officer, and there was an incident on the field where Sergio had collided head-to-head with the goalkeeper, and both of them were concussed. Unfortunately, the medical team of both teams made a decision to say, no, they are fine, they need to go back. But from me, where I was sitting from the VIP tribune, I could see that these people were concussed. I had to run down from the VIP tribune, go to the match officials to say, these people are concussed, they need to stop the match and we need to remove them. That's how then they were removed from the field of play. And Liverpool came to say, we are so grateful, you know, that you intervened, because concussion a lot can go wrong. When a person is concussed, the head is a faculty of the human body. Everything is controlled by the head. And if anything goes wrong in the head, you can have balance problems, you can have visual problems, you can have speech problems, you can have hearing problems. A lot can happen.
You recently launched a book. Tell us about that.
Yes, I recently launched a book called Sports Medicine, My Love and Passion. This is a book that it's a memoir. It talks about my journey, where I come from to where I am. But this book is a book that is dedicated to every person that has got a dream. To say, your dream is valid, your dream is possible. If a young man from Ganyamazan, can do it, you can also do it.
You are already making some strides, especially in Bombela and the surrounding areas.
Absolutely, yes. We have launched a Dr. Thulani Ngwenya Foundation recently, and we are so grateful that just during the launch, we managed to train about 30 coaches with a D license course. 30 coach, and this course hasn't been done in so many years, and people are grateful and they want more, and we have said no, we'll come back because we couldn't accommodate everyone. The D license course only takes about 25, but we pinched the coaching education department to say, please give us 5 more. And over and above, we launched schools football, which is also a vision of SAFA, which is schools football. We're going to have a schools tournament, not league, for males and females, and we're going to also have netball also as part of it, and then from there we're going to graduate to other sporting codes. We are also infusing the sports science part of it, because you know we are so talented as Africans, but I can tell you now it is going to be very difficult for Africans to win the World Cup up until we embrace sports science. When you look at other countries out of the borders of Africa, they embrace sports science so well that I don't believe that they are so talented more than us, but the development that they get has a little bit of a notch because of the science aspect of things.
How does it feel that you are the only African medical officer that will be representing the continent at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar?
I'm very humbled, Mdu. I'm very humble. I take this as a humbling moment. You know, it could have been anyone in the continent, but you know, the hand pointed towards a Dr. Thulani Ngwenya. For me, it is an opportunity to showcase our skill. For me, it's an opportunity to say that an African can actually do it. For me, it is an opportunity to open doors for the other generations that are coming after us to say, we have reached that summit of football in the world. So now let's open opportunities for more people to actually go that path. And it is also an opportunity to say to South Africans, let us embrace sports science. Let us try and give more emphasis to sports science and see if we cannot actually reach our goal of winning the World Cup one day.
Dr. Ngwenya, thank you so much for your time. That was Dr. Thulani Ngwenya, the Chief Medical Officer of the South African Football Association.